My name is Titilayo Oyinsan, and thank you so much for joining us once again. All right, let's jump straight into it, shall we? The global market struggled to make headway as major bourses extended losses amid simmering US China tensions. Let me take that again. The global market struggled to make headway as major bourses extended losses amid simmering US-China tensions. For the NGX, the ASI reversed losses, closing in the green. The market recorded losses to start this month, by the way. The GSECI plummeted, closing again in the red. And for the NSE, stocks reversed losses. Trading ended in the green, however. Now, South African stocks declined again, with trading ending in the red. And for Europe, shares extended losses. For the US, stocks drifted little lower. And for China, stocks sink as Sino US tensions rise. Let's talk African equities. And at this point, we're going to start with Nigeria. The Nigerian exchange returned to positive territory as stocks extended gains. The ASI increased by 675.72. That's 1.35% points to close at 50,626.04. Now, 107 NGX listed equities participated in trading, ending with 19 gainers and 9 losers. Honeywell Flour Mill led the gainers with 9.66% share price appreciation, closing at 2 naira 27 kobo per share, followed by Jay's Bank at 9.46% increase. And on the losing side, McNichols came out last with an end of day price depreciation of 9.76% at 0.74 kobo per share. Now, that was followed by WAPIC Insurance at minus 9.76%. And today's data shows a 27% decline in volume, 26% improvement in turnover, but a 5% decline in deals. And it's representing a 1 week loss, or rather a 1 week gain of 0.36%, a 4 week loss of 2.32%, but an overall year to date gain of 18.52%. For South African stocks, the FTSE JSE All Share Index dropped 640.36. That's at minus 0.93% points to close at 68,002.23, representing a 1 week loss of 0.61%, a 4 week gain of 4.61%, but an overall year to date loss of 7.74%. Now, the JSE listed equities number 359 abated in trading today, ending with 130 gainers and 201 losers. Astoria Investments led the gainers with 40% share price appreciation, closing at 7 Rand 84 per share, followed by Visual International Holdings at plus 33.33%. And on the losing side, Jasco Electronics Holdings came out last with an end of day price depreciation of 14.29%. That's at 0.24 Rand per share, followed by ISA Holdings at minus 14.17%, and today's data shows a 13% improvement in volume, a 2% improvement in turnover, and a 26% improvement in deals. The current market capitalization of Johannesburg Stock Exchange is presently 19.6 trillion rand. Now let's talk Ghana. Now the GSECI plummeted 84.67. That's minus 3.49% points to close at 2,340.07. At the end of today's trading, the session of the GSE, a total of 431 shares, corresponding to a market value of 46,193,385.48 Ghana cedis were traded. 13 GSE listed equities participated in trading, ending with only one gainer, namely Access Bank Ghana, and that's at 1.09% share price appreciation. The two losers on the day were MTN Ghana with minus 9.64% and Total Petroleum Ghana at minus 0.24%. This is representing a 1-week loss of 4.08% and a 4-week loss of 8.07%, with an overall year-to-date loss of 16.11%. The current market capitalization of the Ghana Stock Exchange is 62.2 billion Ghana cedis. Now, of course, it's time for us to move a little further. We're going to Nairobi. The Nairobi equities reversed losses and the Nazi increased by 1.39. That's about 1% points to close at 140.26. At the end of trading, the total number of shares was 12,962,800, and that was in 910 deals, corresponding to a market value of 374,222,948. Now, 44 NSE listed equities participated in trading, ending with 18 gainers and 17 losers. Longhorn Publishers led the gainers with 9.42% share price appreciation, closing at 3 Kenyan shillings 60 per share. Now, Bamburi Cement at plus 5.99%, and on the losing side, Kapchorua Tea Company came out last with an end-of-day price appreciation of 6.31% at 100 Kenyan shillings 25 per share. Followed by Britham Holdings at minus 4.46%. And today's data shows a 58% improvement in turnover. However, a 13% decline in deals. The current market cap of Nairobi Security Exchange is 2.18 trillion Kenyan shillings. Now we're going to take a trip to Europe at this point. And yes, quite a lot to talk about over there. For Europe, the equities fell for a second day this Tuesday, with the Pan-European Stocks 600 and the DAX 30 losing roughly 0.2% as each simmering US-China tensions over Taiwan and ongoing worries about a cooling global economy spooked investors away from equities. On the data front, unemployment in Spain increased in July for the first time since February 2021, another sign that a recession in Europe may be on the corner. Bucking the overall negative trend was the energy sector, boosted by strong results from BP. Profit from the British oil and gas giant topped forecasts amid rising commodity prices, and the company announced a 10% increase in its quarterly dividend payout. Going across the sea now, the Shanghai Composite sank 2.26% to 3,186, while the Shenzhen Component lost 2.37% to 12,120, closing at their lowest levels in at least a month as escalated tensions between China and the U.S. ahead of the U.S. Speaker Nancy Pelosi's expected visit to Taiwan sparked a broad sell-off in Asia. Investor sentiment was also weighed down by mounting risk of a global recession, as weak manufacturing data in major economies highlighted the darkening economic outlook, and high growth technology and new energy stocks led the market sell-off, with sharp losses from East Money Information with minus 2.6%, Luxshare Precision at minus 3.5%, TCL Zhonghuan at minus 2.5%, Contemporary Amperex at minus 2.1%, Tianqi Lithium at minus 4.9%, and Longi Green Energy at minus 2.7%. All other sectors in China declined, including heavyweight consumer, industrial, and financial names as well. That's something to look out for. Now, as for the CAC 40, it lost 26 points. That's about 0.4% to 6,400 extending a 0.2% drop in the previous session, weighed down by luxury goods companies such as LVMH at minus 1.8%, Kering at minus 1.5%, Hermes at 0.8%, and that makes a significant portion of the revenue in China. The tech sector was also among the worst performers after disappointing results from overseas Caterpillar. U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi landed in Taiwan, the first U.S. House leader to visit the democratic self-ruled island, and that China sees as a runaway province since 1997. Regarding Pelosi's trip, Beijing warned that its army would never sit idly and will uphold China's sovereignty and territorial integrity, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Zhao Lingjiang said at a press conference on Monday. Over in the US, the major US stock indexes fell as investors weighed increased tensions between US and China with the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi's Taiwan visit, and reacted to comments from the Federal Reserve President about the central bank's path towards it forward. Now, traders also digested more economic data and earnings reports. U.S. job openings fell also in June to a 9-month low, suggesting tightness in the labor market is easing somewhat amid growing economic pressures on the corporate side. Now, Uber soared over 15% after beating Wall Street's estimate for revenue despite heavy second quarter losses. Pinterest rallied more than 10% despite lackluster quarterly results as activist investor Elliott Management revealed that it became the largest shareholder in the company and touted its significant potential for growth. For UK stock, the FTSE 100 closed marginally lower at 7,409 on Tuesday, extending losses for a second straight session as investors digested mixed corporate results and geopolitical tensions between the US and China yet again. U.S. House Speaker, of course, landed in Taiwan and has warned about serious consequences. China has warned about serious consequences. On the corporate front, BP was a bright spot after its profits topped forecasts amid rising commodity prices, while the oil giant also announced a 10% increase in its quarterly dividend payout. And Sage said it expects a full-year revenue growth at the top end of forecasts. Meanwhile, shares of British builders merchant Travis Perkins tumbled by nearly 10% after the company reported a fall in its first half-year profit. You're listening to World Market Index Live. My name is Titilayo Oyinsan. Thanks for tuning in. Now let's talk Brent crude futures. They rose more than 2% to around $102 per barrel after tumbling almost 4% in the previous session, as investors cautiously await the outcome of an OPEC Plus meeting on Wednesday and worry over global fuel demand. The oil cartel is likely to stick to its policy of modest supply increases amid capacity constraints and underinvestment in oil fields, even after U.S. President Joe Biden urged Saudi Arabia to pump more oil on a visit to the kingdom last month. WTI crude futures also rose more than 2% above $96 per barrel on Tuesday after falling 4.8% to 5-month lows on the previous session. Natural gas futures in the U.S. extended losses below the $8 per MMBTU mark, pressured by record levels of output as domestic producers have been taking advantage of higher prices. Copper futures also fell towards $3.50 per pound on Tuesday, sliding for the second straight session as escalating tensions between the U.S. and China ahead of U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan prompted a broad decline in risk assets. And that's all we have time for on World Market Index Live for today. And of course, until we come your way next time, happy trading.